Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back for another video. I know it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since the last time I've been able to do an update. I apologize for taking so long. Life has just been kind of busy over the last few weeks, but I got a chance to get caught up now. So here we are at 5 weeks, and I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now with the Kentucky Bluegrass renovation. Let's take a look. So overall, for the first 5 weeks, I'm actually really pleased with how well everything is starting to fill in. I do have some areas where grass is just starting to kind of get up out of the ground and get established, and a good portion of the lawn is actually ready for a cut. So we really haven't had a whole lot of rain. It's only rained 3 times actually since I started this project 5 weeks ago. Our first rain was the best one that we had, and it was the day that I finished the project, so it washed out some of my seeds. So honestly, the rain has been working against me at this point, and if I didn't have the irrigation system, I probably would have been screwed. So probably the most important thing I would say for a Kentucky Bluegrass renovation is if you're not irrigated, you're going to be in big time trouble if you can't keep up with the water. So luckily I've been able to keep up with it. And I've been able to try a couple of products. I used just a standard 10-10-10 fertilizer about a month in. I wanted to get a little bit of nitrogen, a little bit of balanced fertilizer, a little phosphorus and potassium on it. And then I've also been trying some other products too, and one of those is a wetting agent in a pellet form. So let's take a look at that. All right, so my friends over at Ecologel, the folks who make BioPro, sent me this C Extra pellet, and what this thing is it's a water penetrating pellet. So it's designed for localized dry spots or basically just a wetting agent, but it also has sea kelp and cytokines in it. And if you know what cytokines are, that is what Cytogrow is. Basically, this is the same thing as Cytogrow, but in a pellet form. And you make those applications through a pellet applicator like this. This is a kind of a DIY version of the pellet applicator, sort of like a Pellet Pro. If you ever used one of these, just a DIY version of that. You can buy a Pellet Pro for about 80 bucks online, but I'm using this DIY version for these applications. And basically, the instructions say to spray it out on the lawn every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on conditions. So I'm going to do it every couple of weeks while I'm trying to get this lawn established. According to Ecologel, this will help with root mass and density of the turf. So we'll see what happens. There are a couple areas in the back I have not been testing this on, so we'll see if I see any differences between those two areas. So I'm not really sure, not exactly sure how well this is going to pick up on camera, but I do have some dry spots, kind of like the one you see behind me there, and then I've got a few other kind of areas that really haven't been growing in all that well. I'm having a hard time keeping those areas moist. I come out with the hose and I hand water these periodically just because I don't want to run the sprinklers too much. I don't really want to get a fungus going in the areas that are doing really well. So I've watched a couple of videos of where golf greenskeepers will come out periodically throughout the greens, and they just take a hose and they hand water those spots to sort of keep them moist and keep the grass from drying out in those areas. So that's kind of a tip, I guess, if you do have some areas that are looking kind of dry, especially in my strip right here, kind of in the middle. Both of the sides are coming in really well, but towards the middle where I had some washout, I added some new seed, and so I've been trying to keep that as wet as I can just by hand watering that. And fortunately for me, I get full sun out here in the front yard. I get morning and afternoon sun out here. So the Kentucky Bluegrass really likes full sun. So I think that may be a contributing factor to how well it's filling in already. And I'm hoping that those dry areas sort of fill in on their own with the seed, but then also that the lateral spread from the bluegrass will fill in on those parts as well. So that's sort of the opposite issue that I have with the backyard, is it's so shaded that I did a heavy overseed. Although it is coming in and it's starting to thicken up, it's just so hard to grow the grass back there in the fall because of the lack of sun that you get towards leading into fall, but then also that the trees shaded out so much that it really doesn't come in all that great. Then I got the dogs and the kids that run through the backyard. It's just a heavy traffic area, so it's always been a challenge. But it is looking all right. So we'll see how it looks in the spring. Everything you do in the fall is kind of leading up to your results in the spring. So it could look pretty good in the spring, but throughout the fall it may not fill in all that well. So overall, I'm really happy with the way that it has come in, and I think we are ready for a mow.